Imagine waking up to what should be a warm summer day. Instead, your fields are white with snow. At noon, candles flicker in homes because the daylight feels like twilight. Farmers stare at ruined crops, while market stalls raise prices on even the simplest oats. The world is confused, panicked, and no one yet knows the culprit sits thousands of miles away. To understand why summer vanished, we have to roll back 1 year earlier, to a volcanic island in Indonesia. On April 10, 1815, Mount Tambora roared awake. It wasn't just an eruption, it was one of the most powerful volcanic events in recorded history. The mountain lost nearly half its height. Entire villages vanished under pyroclastic flows, and tens of thousands died almost instantly. But Tambora's most devastating legacy wasn't local. Its true impact was global. The eruption blasted ash and sulfur high into the stratosphere, so high it spread across the planet, dimming the sun itself. Those sulfur aerosols formed a thin global veil. They didn't fall quickly. Instead, they reflected sunlight back into space, lowering temperatures worldwide. You couldn't see the particles individually, but you could feel their effect. In Europe and America, observers described sunsets glowing deep red and purple. In New England, people noticed a strange dry fog that dimmed the sun enough that you could look at it with the naked eye. This was the atmosphere itself turning into sunglasses, and the world beneath it grew darker and colder. By the spring of 1816, America's northeast began to suspect something was wrong. May brought frosts. In June, Albany, New York, recorded snow falling across the city. Farther north in Maine, farmers shoveled drifts instead of sowing fields. And in July, reports from Pennsylvania described sheets of ice floating on ponds. The people gave the year a nickname, 1800, and froze to death. It was less a joke and more a grim truth. Farmers watched seeds rot in the soil. Families stretched what little food they had, and for many, the only solution was to pack their lives into wagons and head west, toward land they hoped was fertile. Across the Atlantic, Europe was already exhausted from years of Napoleonic War. Tambora's haze turned exhaustion into crisis. Relentless cold and rain destroyed harvests. Grain prices soared, and bread became scarce. Crowds rioted in towns from England to Switzerland. In parts of Germany and Austria, famine and disease spread hand in hand. To ordinary families, this wasn't climate anomaly or volcanic aerosols. It was hunger, poverty, and despair. And then, out of the misery came creativity. In Switzerland, the endless rain kept travelers trapped indoors near Lake Geneva. Among them were Lord Byron, Mary Shelley, and their circle. They challenged each other to write ghost stories to pass the time. Out of those gloomy candlelit nights came one of literature's most famous creations, Frankenstein. A volcanic haze halfway across the globe had helped inspire a monster that would haunt imaginations for centuries. Back in New England, the failed harvests pushed families westward. Vermont lost thousands of residents. Among them was the Smith family, whose son Joseph would later found the Mormon Church. Others saw farmland in Ohio, Indiana, and beyond. Tambora didn't invent migration, but it accelerated it, reshaping the demographics of America's frontier. In Asia, records point to disrupted monsoons and poor rice harvests. In China, heavy rains and flooding ruined crops. In parts of India, weakened rains deepened food shortages. The evidence isn't always as clear, but the pattern echoes. A single volcano shifting the rhythm of life continents away. Today, we can confirm Tambora's fingerprints thanks to science. Ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica show sulfate spikes in 1815. Diaries record failed harvests and strange weather. And even art offers clues. Painters captured sunsets unusually red and eerie, evidence of volcanic haze scattering sunlight. The world itself became a witness and left behind a record we can still read 2 centuries later. One mountain sneezed, and the world caught a cold. Farmers starved, governments faltered, families migrated, and artists created. Out of ash came riots, but also stories. Out of hunger came new communities. History isn't just kings and battles. It's clouds, crops, and coincidence as well. Sometimes, the smallest particles change the largest patterns. If a single eruption could rewrite the calendar, imagine what else history hides. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to Roots and Trails for more stories from the past. And let us know in the comments, would you have stayed and hoped for better harvests? Or packed the wagon and left? Take care, guys, and see you in the next video.